Hi, grade 8. So this lesson, we're moving on to 2.2, which is adding and subtracting decimals. Now, I know we've done this before in the previous years in grade 7 and even in grade 6 and grade 5, but let's just practice and make sure that we are all on the same page and on the same difficulty. We're going to start off by doing some examples of adding and subtracting decimals. Let's do it. The first example 1 will be the traditional way. Okay, so let's go through some examples and make sure that we are all correct. Example 1 will be adding and subtracting decimals. So I'm going to give you two examples over here. A is going to be 6.047 plus 13.46. So we're going to add these two decimals together. Now, when we are adding and subtracting decimals, the most important thing is we have to align the place values. Okay, we have to align the place values so that we are adding the same place values together. So if I put down 6.4047, 6.047, and we want to add 13.46, 13.46. The first and most important thing is that the decimal is aligned to the same place. Okay, so the decimal is aligned, decimal aligned. Okay, this is the most important thing to do. Okay, and once we do that, you will realize that there is a gap beneath the 7 and after the 6. And so what we could do is we could add in a filler 0. Okay, we can write, this is called a placeholder. Okay, we can add a 0 placeholder. And it's called a placeholder is because it holds that place. It doesn't actually have any value whatsoever. It's just adds a 0 placeholder so that it makes calculations a little bit easier. And so now let's go ahead and do that question. If we're going to add this, it's best to add vertically because it's easier to see. So 7 plus 0 is 7. 4 plus 6 is 11. We bring 1 up. And so 1 plus 4 is 5. The decimal goes down. 6 plus 3 is 9. And 1 comes down. So we have 19.517. Okay? 517? No. 4 plus 6 is 0. Sorry, I made a mistake. I'm so sorry. So 4 plus 6 is 10, not 11. I made a mistake. And so when we're looking back at our answer, remember to double check. Next one, we're going to subtract. So 9 minus 5.28. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. 9 is going to be at the top, and then we're going to subtract the other one. So 9, and then we're going to subtract 5.28. So notice I'm aligning the place values. Okay, so the ones are all in the same place. The decimal is all in the same place. Now you will notice the 9 doesn't have any decimal places, which means that I'm going to add some 0 placeholders. Add 0 placeholders to make the calculation a little bit easier, right? It has to be, we have to do this time. And so now we're going to subtract. We're going to borrow a place from the 10, so that becomes 9, and then the 9 becomes 8. And now 10 minus 8 is 2. 9 minus 2 is 7. The decimal comes down. 8 minus 5 is 3. So we have 3.72. Okay, so should be no problem. So these are just two examples of adding and subtracting decimals. When you guys are doing your homework, make sure you guys show your full working out. Let's move on to the next example. And so the example 2 will be about variable expressions. Okay, example 2 is evaluating variable expressions. Okay, expressions. So we have two examples, oh, actually just one example. And so let's say we had the expression 6.7 plus r minus t when r is equal to 2.14 and t is equal to 5.2. So this is the question, okay? I have an expression and we have to evaluate it. So when you're doing your homework, make sure you first copy down the question. So I've already written it down. but I will show you, okay? So as the solution, what we're going to do is I'm going to copy down the question, 6.7 plus r minus t, and then I'm going to substitute my values in. So that is equal to, okay, so I'm going to write the equal sign, 6.7 plus r. What's r? That's 2.14, and then minus t, and that's 5.2. Okay, so again, I'm using brackets. I'm showing you that I'm substituting in values. And so now that I do this, we're going to add some values first. Okay, so remember our orders of operation. We need to do from left to right if it's just add and subtract. So 6.7 plus 2.14, I'm going to do a little bit of working out at the side. 6.7 plus 2.14, and so that's going to be 4, that's going to be 8, and that's going to be 8. Bring the decimal down, and so that is equal to 8.84 minus 5.2. And then again, I'm going to do a little bit of working out at side. 8.84 minus 5.20. I'm going to put a placeholder. 4 minus 0 is 4. 8 minus 2 is 6. 8 minus 5 is 3.64. And so in the end, we have the answer 3.64. Okay, so hopefully you should have no problems with these kind of questions. Now, for the last example, this will be a little bit more, maybe a little bit more confusing or a little bit vague. And so example 3 will be estimating a sum. Example 3 will be estimating a sum. So I've just copied down the question from the textbook. And so this one is, for your birthday, you receive a $25 gift certificate. You want to buy 3 used video games with the prices shown. Can you buy all 3 using the gift certificate? So we're going to use a technique called, it's not really a technique, but it's called an estimating by using something called a front end estimation. Front end estimation. And so what this means is we're going to start with the first digit, okay, or the ones place. We're going to add those all up, and then we're going to add the first decimal places all up. And then maybe if we have another decimal place, we're going to estimate the last one, okay? So front end estimation is we're going to, means that we're going to start from the left, start from the front, and then move on to decimal places. And so let's look over here. If we're going to look at our question over here, we have 3 games, okay? And so step 1, okay, the first step we want to do is we want to add the front digits, okay? So step 1, we want to add the front digits. And so what that will be, it will be 8 plus 7 plus 7. Okay, so those are the 3 digits. Did I have to show it this way? Oh, let me just show you the full one. Okay, so 8.79 plus 7.29 plus 7.89. I'm not actually going to add up all 3. I'm just going to estimate just the front first, okay? And so 8 plus 7 plus 7, 7 plus 7 is 14, 14 plus 8 is 22, so that will give me 22 first. And then the second step is to add the decimal places. I want to estimate the sum of all decimals. And so let's again look at over here, 8.79, we have 7.29, we have 7.89. And so this time we're only interested in the decimals, okay? And we want to add them all up. If we look at 0.79, 0.29, and 0.89, we can actually see that these two roughly add to 1, okay, or over 1, add to over 1, and then this is close to 1, which means that when you add all 3 together, it's approximately 2. Okay, so there's 1 plus 1, which is 2. And so if you add them all together, so step 3 is we're going to add them all together, add answers together, or add step 1 and 2 together, 1 and 2. That's going to be 22 plus 2, which will give us an approximate answer of 24. And so you can see this time I'm using the squiggly line because I am approximating, okay? So step 2, I approximated in step 2, which means that it is 24. And then lastly, since 24 is less than 25, I can say that I have enough, or I can buy all three. I can buy all three. So, this is your homework for today. Exercise 2.2, questions 5, 7, 9, 13, 15, 19, 21, 23, 27, 30, 33, 48, 50, 52, 53, 54, and 55. I know I'm just a little bit over 10 minutes. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next lesson.